Angela, how did you find carnivore?
Well, I've been a lifelong dieter since I was probably 6 years old. I remember a doctor put me on a diet when I was 6 years old. Especially being in the South of the United States, you know how Southerners cook. Everything's a starch. They don't know what a vegetable is. I mean, and my grandma always made homemade biscuits with Crisco, of course, because that's what you used back then. Um, because that was during the time when they were like, no, you can't use lard, you can't use tallow anymore. You have to use Crisco. So, all the fried foods were in Crisco. Of course, I love her fried chicken and fried pies and creamed potatoes. Breakfast was grits or oatmeal. So, uh, actually, when I was like 4, Mom and Dad was worried I wasn't eating enough. They were worried I was too small. Then by the time I'm 6, I've gained enough weight for a doctor to put me on a diet. And when your grandmother cooks the way she does, your diet is you can have one starch per meal. So it wasn't like you can have a little bit of this, a little bit of this, a little bit of this. No, you could pick one thing. So, do you want the cream potatoes or do you want the biscuit? You can't have both. So it was, it was something that really set in my mind that this is what my life is. And that's basically how my life's been. Mama went on every fad diet in the 70s. Of course, went along with it with her. Her, my grandma, and I, all three went to Weight Watchers. And so, and also joined gyms, even use those machines, it's supposed to shake the fat off of you. I don't know if you remember those. So, back in 2016, I got married and my husband was diagnosed with cancer again. So I did some research and thought, okay, let's try paleo. Why not? So I tried to do that with him. And his sister's like, why are y'all doing that? He said, well, because of my cancer, it's cancer, and Angie wants to lose weight. So that's what we did. The thing is, he would never stick to it. So, so I lost him in 2018. And then how I found Carnivore was I found Ken Berry in like November of 2023. And, went with his proper human diet, not carnivore yet at first. Then when I heard him more talking about carnivore and talking about autoimmune diseases, because I have several, then I was like, well, why not? I like meat. I don't have any problem with that. I wouldn't really miss the vegetables, so why not? And so I couldn't have bread anyway because I have celiac. That wasn't diagnosed till like 2018, 2019. So that's what I've been doing there ever since. Every once in a while I might add in some dairy or I might try something else and I pay for it.
Right. And so what are those autoimmune diseases and have they been helped at all?
Well, I have lupus, I have EDS, I have of course celiac. I know it's about 5 of them, and a lot of times they slip my mind. Um, but the EDS, they believe the type that I have is what caused my ascending aortic aneurysm that I have. It's last time it was measured as 45 millimeters. So we monitor that once a year, which is every August. So hopefully this August it won't grow again. It hadn't grown in 3 years. It'd be wonderful went down a little bit, but it hasn't went up in 3 years. Um, the lupus, of course, is a connective tissue thing. So, I've always had back pain, knee pain, every joint in my body hurts. I have compressed disc in my neck. So, um, but it used to take oxycodone every night so I could try to sleep. And I haven't taken that in years now, probably, I want to say 2019 or to 2020, somewhere along in there. I stopped taking that altogether because it also, the side effects from that, it makes me itch. So I would claw my skin off of my face in the middle of the night because it would itch so bad.
Wow. Um, yeah, I think I've heard of that as a side effect of oxycodone, yeah. Wow. So I guess, like, just timeline-wise, is did that the fact that you don't need to take the oxycodone, that, coincided with you starting to improve your diet, going paleo?
I think so. Yes. Because because you cut out all, because I cut out all the grains and the sugars and that type of foods.
How is the EDS? Is there any change with that?
Well, that's they believe that's the cause of my aneurysm. So thankfully, it hasn't grown any in the last 3 years, and hopefully, when I go back in August, they'll tell me still hasn't grown because it also causes me to get choked when I eat because it pushes on my esophagus.
Well, I was gonna say, like, that's quite quite massive,
Yeah,
right? Because
it's
45
it
millimeters, that's almost 2 inches.
yes, it's right here, right at my esophagus, and if I'm not careful when I eat, I get choked, and then I get choked. Of course, I end up with the particles of food in my lungs, so I have nodules in my lungs because of that. So it kind of compounds.
Um, and so how do you just have to combat that by, like, I don't know, eating ground beef, things like that? Easy to swallow?
I just have to make sure I chew it up very well because once it starts getting stopped there, um, the only way to get it unstopped is drink water. And if it gets stopped enough when I drink the water, it hurts. I mean, it does go down because the water will push it down. So as long as I chew my food very well and drink some water, I'm usually fine as far as that's concerned. But it stays in the back of your mind. Don't eat too fast because you'll get choked.
And, how have other just day-to-day life things changed for you as far as are you sleeping better?
I think I'm sleeping better because I don't have the pain, and that was the reason I was taking oxycodone so I could hopefully get some sleep. I think the brain fog's better because I used to have like brain fog a lot. So that's changed for the better. And I'm just hoping that the few pains that I do have left, because I have a stray bone in my knee, so I don't know if anything's going to help that. But it'd be nice if the inflammation there could go down enough that even that stray bone in my knee would stop causing me problems with that knee. I can't even straighten my knee because of that bone that broke off of my shin bone when it got shattered in 2008.
I see. How did that get shattered?
Like an accident. I had a car run me down.
Oh. Oh, no.
Yeah, I had a car pull out in front of me 2006, broke my left leg and my pelvis. In 2008, I had a car run me down and shatter the top of my shin bone in my right knee. Whenever the thigh bone hits down on the shin bone loses, and it just shattered.
Yeah, I hope the inflammation can go down there, yeah. So, 'cause, that's just that's pain that you have to live with regardless what you're doing.
Yes, and plus, like I can't straighten my knee because of where that bone is. They did do knee surgery because it had stretched my MCL, so they had to shorten it. And they were hoping to get all the stray bones out, but they said that it caused too much trouble, too much damage getting that one out. So was better just to leave it.
Oh, no. Um, yeah, so, um, at this stage, how have you been eating day to day?
Well, I also want to talk about the fasting I did 2 weeks ago. But it's like today I had my coffee with butter this morning. This afternoon I had about a half a pound of hamburger while I was at work. And when I got home, I cooked 14 ounces of hamburger, and that was my dinner. So, sometimes I'll have liver. I like chicken liver and beef liver. I'm not picky about that at all. Me and my aunt used to fight over my grandma's chicken livers on Sundays. So I've always liked liver. Um, and of course, sometimes I will have chicken. My puppy and my cats most of the time live on chicken, but because I buy them a pack of chicken once a week, and that's what they eat. So, and every once in a while, fish. I just am not a fish eater. I do not like salmon. I make myself eat it, but I don't like it. I do not enjoy it at all. So, but chicken, pork, beef, I'm good.
And are you supplementing at all?
I have a few things I've tried to take. I have taken some omega 3s. I tried those last month just to see if they would make a difference, and I really didn't see a big difference, so I didn't buy them again this month. I have a few things my doctor has me on because I have thyroid hormone replacement that I take. I've got some. She recommended selenium and a few other things that I'm taking right now, but I'm not sure I can see a difference.
Are you taking electrolytes?
Yes, I do. I take the electrolytes twice a day. If I don't, I have horrible cramps in my legs and my feet. It is not fun to be woke up in the middle of the night with cramps in your feet and in your legs. It just isn't. And taking the electrolytes does make those stay away.
You mentioned you've done some fasting recently?
Yes. Not this. It was week before last, and I thought it was really interesting. I didn't do a complete water fast. I'm not at the point my body can handle that yet. My blood sugar drops too low, and I have to cut it short. I can usually go 3 days if I do a water fast. Past that, my blood sugar drops too low, and I can't handle it. So what I did was I did 60 grams of butter a day, and then water and coffee. So, and that seemed to do really well. And I made it to 5 days, no problem. My blood sugar didn't drop really low. Actually, by the fourth day, it came up in the 60s. I was happy with that. My ketones went up to a 9.5 by the fifth day. I've never seen ketone numbers that high, ever. And the thing was, my ketones stayed up the next week, even when I started eating again, like 4 point something. So even the next week, my ketones stayed up 4 point something. So I thought that was wonderful because I still do have weight to lose. Some people don't believe it, but yes, I do. I need to lose about 20 pounds.
And when your ketones were that high, did you feel more mentally alert, or do you just feel generally better?
Couldn't really tell as far as that's concerned. I was just impressed that I got a reading that high because the meter just said high, but when I looked at the graph, on the third and fourth day, it said 9.2. And on the fifth day, of course, it said high again. And I so I looked at the graph, and graph said like 9.5. I was like, wow, you know, I thought that's really cool. And of course, I dropped a lot of weight that week. Of course, the next week it peaked up a little bit. So,
Mm. And how have family and friends reacted to the way you're eating?
well, like I said, I've been on a diet since I was 6. So to them, it's just another diet. So it's really been no reaction. Now I've had some people that we had a birthday party for my ministry group, and they were like, "Don't you want some cake?" I said, "No, I have celiac. What's that?" So, I mean, you think most people would know what celiac was, but I was real surprised that she didn't. So, so they just, I think most of them just think, well, that's her choice. If you don't want it, you don't want it. But I just thought it was weird that she's like, "Don't you want some cake?" I'm like, "No, I don't. I mean, I got celiac. I couldn't eat it anyway." So, and my mother used to ask me years ago because I've been hypoglycemic, and my mama would ask me years ago. She'd say, "How can you not eat your daddy's cake or pies?" My daddy's a wonderful cook. And I'd say, "Mama, because it'd take me 3 days for me to feel good again. Because if I ate that one piece of cake, one piece of pie, it would take me 3 days to get my blood sugar straightened out again. It's not worth it."
That's it. That's what I think. Until you've eaten this way, people can't understand is that the consequences of eating stuff is just way too bad, right?
I mean, I love the dill pickles. So when I went off my fast, I decided, well, I'm gonna go and buy some dill pickles and make me some tuna fish salad and put a little bit of dill pickle in it. I paid for that. My joints hurt the next day. I was surprised, but it did. So now I know.
Um, so how has your work been impacted by this way of eating? Like, do you find you're more productive, or maybe problems at work are easier to deal with? Anything like that?
Well, work has been really stressful for the last since about November. I've been working. I'm supposed to have every other Friday off. I haven't had a Friday off. I worked this past weekend. I worked a little while on Saturday and I worked a little while on Sunday. So work has been really stressful because I'm the only one at work historically that does what I do. They did hire me one contractor part time to help out, thankfully. He has been a real big help. But, this way of eating, I don't take, which I never took a break in anyway. I ate at my desk, but I'm working and eating, my like half a pound or whatever I take with me, and it doesn't take that long. Or either I take a bite and keep working, and so it's not like it takes any time away from what I'm doing. I don't have to break off what I'm doing. I carry thermoses of water and coffee to work, and I rarely leave my desk.
Right. So, And do people at work kind of find it interesting that you're eating only ground beef at your desk?
Um, the way our offices are set up, hardly anybody comes in our offices because they're separate offices. Is thankfully I'm not in a cubicle situation anymore. So a lot of people I'm sure do not even have a clue. My friends at work do, because even when we go out together um to a restaurant or whatever, sometimes I'll bring something of my own because we'll do like a picnic situation. So anyway, we'll go out to eat, and sometimes it'll be a picnic situation. So I'll bring my own food. Um, I got a friend that last time when we went out, she got a meat and cheese tray. So ate some of hers too. So I mean, so nobody thinks anything of it. Also with our ministry, some of them like it because it's like, hey, can I have your French fries? I'm like, yes.
So, but no one showed any interest in giving it a try?
Well, my grandson called me a few weeks ago and said, Grandma, I need to lose 30 pounds. What can I do? I said, well, just eat meat. I told him I know he eats junk food. I know how he eats. He's standard American diet, but he wants to lose 30 pounds. I said, get off the junk food, get off the breads, cut stuff down until you can just eat meat. He was supposed to come over here yet tomorrow, and I was going to ask him how he was doing. But my daughter called me, and she needs a babysitter tomorrow, so she's just having him babysit. So he won't be able to come up here tomorrow. But as soon as I can ask him how he's doing, I will.
So, if you're giving someone advice about starting with carnivore, what would you tell them to do to maximize their chances of success?
I tell them the same thing I told my grandson, especially if they're on the standard American diet. Cut out the junk food first. Cut out the seed oils. Cut out, then cut out your vegetables and beef, butter, bacon, and eggs. Mostly, just down to the basics. And me myself, I'm still playing with how much fat I should have a day, how much protein I should have a day. So I know that takes time to figure out, because I have found out, like everybody else, if you go too much on the fat, you pay for it. You pay for it in the restroom. so so you have to figure out what works for you. I mean, I definitely do more fat than I do protein in grams a day, and I don't have a problem. But if I overdo it, I know it.
It's kind of finding that there's a delicate balance there, right?
Yes, it is. It is the delicate balance, and if you hit that high spot on the fat one day, you'll know it by the next day, probably the next morning.
Yeah. So, Angela, is there a way that people can reach out to you? Do you have any social media or any way of getting in contact?
Well, of course, I'm on Facebook, Angela Davis Mullins, and I actually set up a new email address, which is carnivore at angiestory.ws. My website does have a picture of me at my heaviest, and it does have a story about me when I lost 97 pounds back in 2002. But other than that, my webpage needs a lot of work, so I really don't want to advertise it too much.
No worries. Well, I'll link to your Facebook and your email in the show notes. Angela, thank you very much for coming back on and letting us know
Thank
how
you,
you're
Dave.
doing.
I really appreciate you, and I appreciate all your stories.